Oh, this prince. Quick gag, brother. And try to clean up his identity. You got the wrong guy. We are not. Then he went to his brother and reminded him. Run, he'll recognize us. Maybe you're a safe person. The young man now raised his hand to explain. Don't be afraid, your highnesses. I'm not a safe person. I'm a fan of your majesty. Listen to this. Both of the Tazilla princes shot at each other. The black bag on his head fell out of fear. Nemo shouted. We have fans like us, but we also have fans. The prince did not believe it was impossible. You must be a safe man. The young man's glittering eyes expressed. I hope you two don't belittle yourselves. I'm really a fan of both of you. Your performance at the games, though not the best. But two brave people go forward. My indomitable perseverance moved me. Since then, I've liked both of you. Today, I saw the little paper that two people handed out at the supermarket. I'm worried about the safety of the two of you who just came by. Prince Nemo was so moved. Clean eyes say, can you hear me? He praised us for our resilience and bravery. It was the first time we had fans. The prince could not hold back his tears. He raised his hand and wiped it. Listen, this man's eyes are sharp. Maybe from our playful exterior. To discover our radiant inner self. He then went to hold the young man's hands tightly. This fan. Your eyes are so good. Spend by follow us about Tazilla. We can ask your father to give you the title. You should buy it and say yes. Follow us on the water. We make sure you are honored. The young man was glowing, and he shook his head and said, No need, your highnesses. Except for me, there are a lot of people who like you. This time I didn't come for anything. I'm really worried about you two. You two just said. The ministry has not officially announced the relevant legislation. Now recruit people. It's the equivalent of dancing on a red string. If you continue to recruit, it's hard to be sure it's not like we were caught before. Listen to this honest confession of mine. Prince Nemo was crying again. Dream Mask, what a fairy tale fan is this? It's so touching. They only care about us. And Prince Nai is a coward. We're so far away, you can hear Sao. He once again held the young man's hand. I think you reminded me right. It's dangerous to recruit now, we give up. But that, you can really think about your proposal. Follow us to the country as nobles. If you're not sure, your family can pick them up. What do you see? The young man laughed and thanked his majesty for his kind words. I don't want to be a noble. I was born here, growing up here. I like self-help. I love the feeling of being in the middle with everyone, creating a good life. Prince Nemo can see the light. Emotion-covered mouth exclamation. Tigers are not our fans. We're leaving the consulate. It's also self-help. The dear prince raised his thumb in admiration. He suggested we buy you a drink. You don't want to be a noble, but can't refuse good wine. Nemo was happy to say yes. It's so charming. Let's have a drink and see two people enthusiastically invited. The young man could not refuse any more. Your highnesses, it's my honor. By outside the alley. At this moment, I'm holding a scold by the collar. Last time, unsanitary food was punished. Not enough Sao. This time, I helped foreign traders. The dark side recruits workers. I pray to God that I am wrong, Lord. Forgive me, I shouldn't be blinded by money. The two of you panicked. I was startled to see this scene. Both of you hurry behind. Nemo, trembling, said safe. But it's really inhuman. Our behavior before if we are discovered. The prince also fell to his feet and continued to speak. He will be beaten up by the great demon king. The young man saw that and smiled and waved his reassuring hand. It's not. Here boss before 7 bakery sales. Not suitable for sanitary conditions. Be fined. Now he's the evil mediator who's been arrested. If you are mentioned by others, take a breath. She glared furiously at the boss. Ask your mouth and get it wrong. Are you secretly cursing at me in your heart? The man crying explained. I dare not be the emperor. I really know it's wrong. In the office of Trongen, Ellie happily reported the young master. You're right. Not many workers will go. According to foreign traders, leave the school. Save Feng stop Penra right probe. Don't rejoice too soon. Leave your country. Living in another country is no small thing. A lot of people need time to think. If you guess wrong, over the next few days, the number of foreign workers will increase. Ellie couldn't help but ask. The young man is so calm. We don't think how. Save Feng laughter reassurance 3 increase is also limited. No matter the circumstances of life, wages are better than other countries. Normal people don't want to go. What about high-level, non-mediocre talent? I like to study engineering. The technology of the city is the most advanced. The more they won't go. Ellie couldn't help but wonder, according to what you said. There will be absolutely no going. SAO increased again. Just throw it away and explain. People who want to go out and grow. They get the right treatment. We'll combine with merchants to recruit. But even if they leave, their relatives will probably stay in Chang'an. That's right, Ellie. The details you wrote are almost done. See if you want to add anything. Ellie picked it up and asked stupidly. Law on the protection of foreign workers. In fact, it's not just that we don't restrict them. Think about how to protect them. He nodded to confirm that. You tell me why. If we don't want to lock down the country. Of course, there will be a lot of staff. Supplies and assets normally in circulation. Under the expansion reform, the movements beyond this country will proceed to the usual step. Of course, we must legislate to protect Han's legitimate interests. The king and his workers have left. Ellie read through it for a while and felt the way. Application for permission of migration. That's great. There are these things. We can hold the output of the technical staff. It wasn't just about this in the first place. Protective laws to make it easier for us to manage. Protect the interests of foreign employees. My dad told me to try to think. If they're happy to go abroad, they have an illegal organization forcing them to do it. It's exhausting. Their workers aren't used to living. How can they protect themselves from this legislative item? When foreign traders recruit people, must sign an official contract with the Han people. Reign once in the process of cooperation. There's any problem. He is our king. It will be solid support for those outbound employees. They are at any time. We can go to the embassy outside of us. Please help Ellie express this. I understand. The police report came in today. There's this situation. There are some dark traders in our area. Composing contract yin-yang. They want to trick workers out of the country. I don't know what will happen. This law is amazing. I said that. Miss Lau came to hug her and praise her. Missing is bad. Whenever you have a problem, the young man immediately thought of the best solution. This time it's even worse. Think very fully, he hugged her, said. It is not in the heart of fun to think all the way. Who told me to copy the work of modern times? Ellie suddenly said seriously. But the young master couldn't help but be very benevolent. The workers want to go. The young man thought to them everywhere. The teacher taught me to change my mind. The employees of foreign workers, they will get gold and silver. Actually, after returning to the country, it must be changed into our currency. Just like that go home. The currency in our treasury will rise. Take currency as a base. More Han state power advanced dynasty. There will be a day. We're going to build an international monetary system. Take the renminbi at the center. They just go abroad to work. It's not about water. What are you afraid of? Ellie, even though she doesn't understand it, replies, I don't understand. But it's very good to hear. It's very bad. The wind was then excited to tease. I wanted to find you before. I don't have a book anymore. Ellie puffed up the roof, looking the other way, explained. That's because I don't understand. Look at the problem incompletely, not compared to the young man. He laughed and reminded me not to flatter. Stand up in front of hugging so hot. Ellie sounded like lightning flashing across her angry ears. What do you mean when you like to call yourself sweet? Now people are climbing up, and he's talking hot. The more annoying, Ellie was more determined to embrace the wind than to say, I don't stand up. Before the young master stitched hot. You're powerless to compromise. Don't you regret? The atmosphere is a little warmer. Ellie looked at the young man. Preparing to kiss. I asked Nicola out of the blue. Why are you here? Ellie heard it all. Hurry up and jump off, he shouted Nicola back in without knocking on the door. But when you look out the door, there was no Nicola at all. Ellie, red-eyed, angrily shouted at the young master. You lie to me. I laughed and said I didn't expect you to be so easy. Ellie scares the hateful. Chang'an is the owner of the garden. The private gardener complained about Theo. These are the species of flowers that I chose according to the climate in La Sun. If the princess likes, I'll go and buy seeds. Princess Gil looked at the picture like Hoa and was impressed. It's so beautiful, my mother will love it. Igina happily nodded well. Very good choice. His eyes filled with expectation to say I am satisfied. You go buy it, it doesn't matter. You go directly to the consulate and find my lady. Just take it. To take back the drawing, she confidently replied. Yes, princess. So I'm leaving. Just as I was about to leave, Jenny came over. He bowed to Miss Jenny. She waved, hello. Jenny comes to you in Asina, good morning. Hill looked at his sister and said good morning to Jenny. I didn't see you in the morning. Izina also said. Gil just wanted to find you for breakfast. Jenny wondered. What did you want to do? Gil replied. That's the gardener. I would like to invite you to La Seine. Jenny heard that and sighed. The gardener brought back to the queen. Every time Gil mentioned the queen in front of him, are always careful. Actually, our mother's relationship was a matter of a past life. Your Majesty is cold to me. It's also common. She is also her own daughter. To relieve stress, Jenny happily hugged her sister's hand and said, the garden in La Sun is not good. It is best to invite people from the Han dynasty. Pity for the short-lived flowers. The shark sounds less awkward. That's right. He also helped me choose a lot of flowers to bring back. You are also more relieved in your heart. Worried about it. Miss Jenny's not going to be happy. No, I think I've thought a lot. She's fine if she doesn't. Jenny blushed to express her opinion. I went to do something very important this morning. Not. I won the 400 meters freestyle at the Olympics. SAO, I'm going to use my prize money to buy a house at the school. So Isma asked, I went to see the house this morning. Jenny excitedly replied, I've been looking at 2 houses all morning. I like it. I am currently unsure which house to buy. Irina laughed and said she wanted us to help SAO. Jenny playfully replied. It was discovered by Master Igina. I'd like to ask 2 people to help me. Igina happy replied. Of course. Jenny couldn't help but get excited. You lead the way, follow me. The 2 houses are also close together. Everyone is nearby. Igina is also interested in running, as she expressed. The land near the city. Used more and more. The house price will go up later. Jenny's eyes are so good. When you hear it, you are a little confused. Jenny wants to buy a house. She's not going back to La Seine anymore. And from ba. Jenny came into the hall. The house manager asked, You 2 are the friends that Miss Jenny talked about helping with the housekeeping. Isn't it unexpected? Miss Jenny is not only beautiful. Even you are so beautiful. What to do? In a moment, the 3 fairies will cut me, so I can stop it. I will definitely give Miss Jenny the lowest discount. Jenny meticulously exposed. If your mouth is sweet, it's useless. I don't believe it. In a moment, I will definitely not hold my hand. The broker manager laughed back. It's broken. Jenny found out about my stepson. Gil in the back saw you so excited. There is a bit of surprise in my heart. Jenny used to be careful with outsiders. Shame now can casually laugh and talk happily. Ina saw that she was quiet and turned to Gil. What a fool. Jenny heard that and asked Gil anxiously. Do you feel uncomfortable? I didn't answer when we called you for hours. Izina told Gil to build Nicola's food recently. Feed for white and round. Why is it annoying? Maybe just looking at the house. Gil nodded in confirmation. A little bit of a look. This house and La Sun are completely different people. The manager is a fanatic. I'm proud to hear Princess Gil say that. Of course, it's different. This whole sub-district from the garden to the housing. The design team was led by His Majesty. He was surprised to ask His Majesty to design the following house. He's so good. Kir's brother raised his thumb. Of course, Your Majesty, we are all powerful. Izina tried to sit on the chair, cannot help but be amazed. This sofa is comfortable. Please ask this sofa. Is it sold along with the appliances on sale? The house manager said yes. This house is intricately decorated. You can move indirectly. Everyone is assured. We decorate. They use the best ingredients on the market. But I'm not fooling you. These household items, the market can only be viewed as neutral. Not the premium type after the house comes to hand. If you are not satisfied, you can sell it to buy another one. Jenny was happy to understand. But if they all use the most expensive stuff, the price will be high. I'm afraid that no one can buy it. The manager said, Actually, if it wasn't for you to bother. We also sell vacant homes. Decorating yourself will be better. Jenny said I'm not picky about home decor. Now this level is enough. Other units are also decorated and GA both Zhangyang. I'm very confused about this house. The manager went to the mysterious window of Thieu. I forgot to show you this before. I saw Miss Jenny see this. We'll decide immediately. Jenny couldn't help but be curious about something so magical. He opened the door with his hand, and Ra said the 2 houses she liked. The basic conditions are not very different. There is this one. The door opened, and the wind blew in. Izina and the princess were amazed. Is the air of the jungle. All 3 of you go to the balcony and look below. Green forest breaks out. The manager said it was a big park outside. Jenny likes to praise endlessly. It's great. Igina looked at it and thought it was a mountain. Princess Gildang Tay enjoying Wind Heaven Express. Filled with the forest's breath, so comfortable. Jenny made the right decision right away. I don't need to see the one I bought. The manager pleasantly replied. Here's your contract, see if there's a problem. If not, you can ask me to return the signed copy at any time. Come on, because he was very happy when he closed the order. Jenny is easy to talk to. There are a few more customers like that. I am rich. After a while, the contract was signed. Jenny hugged her sister's arm excitedly. The contract is signed. The house is done. Starting from today. Jenny, I'm the one who got Gil's house. You see, I have my own house. Your home. Gil doesn't seem very happy. I see they are happy for you. In your heart, you say you are home. Jenny couldn't help but show off to Izina. Sir, I'm home. Izina was glad she said no tiger was Jenny. I'm so proud of you, Gil thought sadly. Jenny didn't see the palace as a home. You remember the past. How Jenny used to feel bad about herself. She was wrongly accused of stealing another princess's rice. And it's yours. That's right, Jenny. In the cold castle, Kier has suffered so hard. I hope she sees that place as her home. Jenny still doesn't know. Confided in her sister's heart. His eyes are still very determined. Waiting for you to arrange this place. I'll invite everyone to be a guest. If you love it, reassure yourself. She's there having fun. It's not just friends who can draw every day. Do what you like. There's a house later, Jenny. I'm not going back to La Seine anymore. You can't just think about it. I have to think about a little confirmation. Look, Gil doesn't seem happy. I can also guess part of it. Gil likes Jenny so much. Jenny bought a house here. In Gil's heart is not pleasant. She stood up and asked for a house that belonged to her. The feeling seems so good. Even I'm a little moved. I also have to look around. Jenny gladly agreed to go, Lord Asina. This table can be spread out first. Then put the flower vase in the middle of Gil. I see Sao Gil, replied the sleeper. Well, I see the paper is good. Suddenly, Princess Gil asked Jenny. I'm not going back to La Seine anymore. When I heard her ask, Jenny was silent. A few seconds later, she said yes. I don't want to go back there with you. There was nothing left to hold on to. It's a mute, of course. Jenny came to embrace her, comforting, of course. Except for you and your mother. My mother's death will come back. And you when you miss me. I'll be back too. Don't cry. Gil said you weren't crying. Jenny said more. Even if you don't come back, you can come here. Maybe after returning home. I'll forget all my friends in Han Dynasty, Sao. You can only be in the first half of the year. Half a year later in the Han Dynasty. In retirement, the mood is better. Jenny is so thoughtful. Will be disadvantaged in addition to the personality, does not like to talk. Later, she was raped here herself, and no one knew. You realize something that's suddenly exciting. Jenny was fond of ordaining you. I just pushed the two of them like that. Jenny will have someone to take care of her. In the dining room covered the owner. The maid is putting the dishes on the table. Nicola told me. Ellie's soy milk and pressed it into fresh milk. Princess Gil came to say hello. Hello, Nicola Sao. There are only a few people, Nicola replied. A group of young people who go to exercise in the morning. Some people who haven't woken up yet will come one after another. You woke up so early today. Gil serrated and embraced the flattering nun. I dreamt that you cooked so well that you couldn't stand it. So Nicola got up early and rubbed her head happily. The big delicious party is not available until tomorrow afternoon. I won't get you breakfast first. You can choose. Princess Gil then sat at the table in her mind. Sorry, Nicola, I lied to you. I woke up early today on a mission. For Jenny's later happy life. Before working with your Majesty and Jenny, you must survey your Majesty. At this time, I also went to exercise. You step out. Nicola asked His Majesty if he wanted to take a shower first. You said you don't need me to sweat a lot. Have breakfast first. Nicola gave me the towel. If you don't shower, clean first. Save the wind. He greeted Princess Gil. Princess Gil looked at him blushing. Your Majesty is dressed too seriously. I can't believe my body is so beautiful. You ask the question. Get up earlier than you run. He wiped his sweat and replied. That's right, we're too busy every day. I can only spend the morning running. It's like looking at his god and his face is red. The kind that doesn't reveal its own handsome appearance. This is jealous. What am I thinking about? Calm down, Your Majesty. Be patient and stay healthy. At least Jenny wouldn't be the perfect side gift. At this time, the Emperor also went to report that my master had returned. Notice pasted. Ask the wind. People's reactions to the implementation of management. How do employees go abroad? When you announce the atmosphere of the scene. I just ate and replied. A lot of people are interested in advertising. It makes the staff very active. Break all the corresponding laws. Explain to the people. Oh yeah, I even went to the Foreign Service for a walk. There are many people there. Ordinary people want to visit. There are foreign traders. I would like to ask a foreign affairs officer to help me recruit. There is also a local company. It was very crowded there. They ask a lot. But I don't know the specifics. I just stood outside for a while. I can't get Chen in at all. Laughing, he told me I knew. Hard for you. Look at the hamburger in front of you. But don't forget to respond to the little things. Listen for a while. Princess Gil is a bit American. Save Your Majesty. So Ra is actually legislating to build the structure. Protect the interests of foreign workers. I thought he was joking. This law is not just a rule, standard for export demographic. It's very easy to manage. Your Majesty is good at ruling the country. The Han dynasty will not easily perish. Jenny's later life was guaranteed. Jenny and Ellie Mina are here. Ellie lamented how hungry she was. Jenny too eyes dark wonder. Why did everyone wake up so early today? When she looked tired, she asked Jenny. Why don't you seem to be sleeping enough? Jenny yawning short yawning answer. I didn't buy a house yesterday. Then the evening was too excited to sleep. Princess Love silently raised her thumbs in praise. Observe closely. You know how to care about others. Ellie surprised Jenny. You bought a house. Nicola was also surprised so fast Sao. Ellie heard them ask a little startled and said yes. Gil Isina and I watched the room yesterday. Just met the one I like. The price is also in the range of reception, so buy it. Right now. Auntie Mai Gets Season appeared behind, asked Jenny. What is the current house price? Jenny jerking shot Grandma in a hurry. I didn't mean to scare you. It's just that the Ox kids are coming of age. My family should also buy a house for them. But I don't know what the situation is. Can you tell me? Jenny then calmly told me not to Sao. Tomorrow sit first. Ellie asked a little surprised. Your noble brothers are getting married. Nicola was no less surprised. I also heard this news. Jenny sat down to analyze Auntie Mai. Prices in each area are different. In general, the price of the new house will be lower. The closer you are to the city center, the more expensive. Your home should be based on your needs. For example, I want to be the owner. And the teaching place is a little bit closer. You can quickly come in. That's why I chose a house in the middle. I understand you tomorrow. Jenny continued. If it's your superior group, I suggest choosing a house in the new city. The house over there is new. My new house is new. 2 is the new school there. Very good teaching force. It is also convenient to have children to go to school later. That's all I know. Specific story. Take the time to ask the seller. Then listen to this advice. Tomorrow is glad to show it. I remember. Thank you, Jenny. Then she immediately ran away and said, choose a day not to meet immediately. I'll ask the seller now. The nun called Theo. I don't eat breakfast. Ellie sat down near Ellie. Very good interrogator. Quietly buy a house. You said you wanted to scare us. Jenny laughed and said no. It's not that I won the competition 100,000 SAO. Just bought it. Or people buy a house to be my neighbor. Child. It seems like he's going to buy it in my neighborhood. Mina is afraid to say, I don't seem to have that much money. You can add it back. Ellie thought about it and said, I don't seem to be able to either. There is another love in your heart. I don't want to buy it. I want to be with the young man. Princess Gil looked at Liu Feng's expression. When I see you are eating breakfast, I think. Your Majesty's commission begins with the subject of Jenny buying a house. Nothing more to say. He didn't show any attitude. Probably not. He's like some noble in La Shan. I think women should leave men. Not worthy of property. Then, 2 hours to attract everyone's attention. What do you expect him to say? Save the Wind Express. Real house except in Ra. It can be considered a pretty good investment. Normally when you are busy. Except salary. I won't reward you either. If you want to buy a house, you'll get your own money. Give each of you a house. People were surprised to hear that. Is that too wasteful? I don't need a house I bought myself. No need to waste money. The young master you love suddenly opened his mouth. Your Majesty has such respect for women. Offer to buy a house for them. Ellie covered her mouth and laughed. Young man, I've thought a lot. I didn't say. You don't have that much money at all. Industries after nation building, such as supermarkets. Big and small factory, it's all planned by you into the national VI. It's all national. So your own property has only parts. When I was the owner of the Atlantic City. If you listen to that, it will be petrified. Ellie teased again. Even though Kier's own assets are still making money. But once the castle's FEs are paid, our daily expenses, and the wages of others, there's only a little left each month. You're the poorest of us. Save the wind. It's like sinking deep into the abyss. Only later will you accept the truth. He ate the dumplings and said, leave it. Money doesn't mean much to you. Keep it for the people. Do more practical things. Princess Gil fell into deep contemplation. The nobles I met started from birth. Was at the top of the pyramid. They saved most of the land and property. Some people just enjoy it in front of their eyes, but maintain a kind of strangely senseless arrogance. People of every class, attitude of a person with a lower class, decided to limit his moral qualities. People like the wind, even if Jenny gets old and ugly later. I won't abuse her, I've decided. Before I left the school, find opportunities to cooperate with them. A while later at the school building, Ellie asked for the opinion of the missing heiress. Expanded construction plan of the factory side submitted yesterday. Young master saw SAO if I could answer them today. They are very good, according to their thinking. That sounds like Ali can't help but have fun. Today's work is done. Let me remind you, so you can rest first. Ellie hand on chin, tilted small question. That's right, young master. Tell me. Can you buy Elsa a house if you buy a house? Surprised, he also gave advice. Thinking about the morning. If your economic conditions allow, can you buy Elsa a house? Hear this word. Ellie was also determined to kiss her that decision. Starting today, I'll save Elsa a surprise. I don't know what her side is. Our supplies and centrifuges. Has backup arrived yet? Just write and calculate the time. It must be coming soon. You haven't seen me in a long time, or choose a day to visit her. Or ask her to come visit you. Ellie was a little sad. In fact, we're so busy, we don't have time. How about now she's fighting me over there? Not more chaos. If S.A. Hansa and Han King, not far from each other, is good. At least we can find time. Give them a plan for you. The geographical distance cannot be reduced. Reduce the travel time, it is still possible. Ellie held the plan happily. Ask Gia Din to build a flight route between Han, the kingdom, and Sahara. If so, half a month's car journey. It can save up to 2 days. Real or fake? Laughing, of course, it's true. This is a calculation based on civilian spacecraft. Africa just invented it. Read through the plan. Ellie had some questions. It takes half a year to implement. You explain. For building the airport, we need a strong and stable government. Now in Sahaza lives in the steppe. Added to the war, there is absolutely no stable residence. Even the construction of the airport has not been discussed. And ordinary people are not guilty. Among the treasures is guilty. Airports are the most precious. With any country. Without a strong and stable government, it is impossible to ensure the safety of the airport. I hope Elsa's side goes so well. The airport will be built soon. Ellie finished eating the cake and said excitedly. Definitely favorable. Elsa is so bad, in addition to the young master's help defeating them. In the Sahara, in Elsa's territory. Elsa is enjoying a meal. She glanced at Lisa and asked if she had eaten. Finish eating and report the case. Lisa replied, Your Majesty, I have eaten. Even if you haven't eaten, sitting at the same table with you is 7 days. Just finished. Elsa just picked up 8 pieces of rice and continued to speak. It's okay if you don't feel good. Let's say that after we leave, Your Majesty's aide used to glassware with the Mardi and Jez tribesmen. How successful is it? Lisa immediately happily continued to speak. Very good effect. According to the detective report, tribe, Messi is very confident that we work with Ga. Now, the 2 tribes have become enemies. Your Majesty is so good that you can think of such a good way. I hear that. Elsa held a cup of tea in her hand and replied, After the storm, both tribes had to rebuild to compete for resources. There will be an impulse to suspect each other. I'm just releasing some news. Lisa continued, except Disability Department. Our soldiers are ready to fight. Your Majesty, or before the reinforcements arrive, fight a battle with the tribe. Maxie lowers their spirits. Elsa quickly replied that she could not. It's hard to guarantee 2 tribes won't make peace. More than our forces in front of us. If you leave the army, there will be danger. Reinforcements and supplies should be coming these days. She watches the technique. Suddenly coming in from the outside. The young man ran into the report. Your Majesty has a large group of people.